Greetings adventurers and welcome to the channel. In this video I'm going to make a review of the Codex Supplement Dark Angels for Codex Space Marines of Warhammer 40,000. And this copy of the book that you see on the screen is the one that arrives with the Deathwing Assault box. First of all, I want to point out that this is not a paid review. Games Workshop did not send me this copy. The Deathwing Assault box was bought by my family for me as a birthday present, and that's how I got this book. So right out of the start I want to have that away. Also, the box was bought from gamingfigures.com. Once again, this is not a paid promotion. Gamingfigures.com did not pay me to mention them. I do this because I want to, since Gaming Figures is the shop where I buy most of my Warhammer 40,000 and Age of Sigmar stuff. Right, now that we have that out of the way, my initial thoughts about the book are going to be, so to say, I'm not going to speak much about the rules, or should I better say that I'm not going to read you the rules. I think that the rules have been spoken about many times until now. Many reviewers have covered them. What I'm trying to do here is just give you my thoughts about it. First of all, let's get the technicalities out of the way. This is a gorgeous book. Now, the art, the photos, and the lore inside it, they are great. Now, as you can see, we have much about the lore, some new stuff about the lion and how he's integrating himself in these new times for him. There are interesting stuff. Most of you who are playing Dark Angels, I believe, already know, but he has his own chamber now, and there is another secret chamber that he uses specifically to consult with very specific characters from the inner circle, like Belial, Azrael, Ezekiel, Asmodai, and so on, Samael as well. And sometimes when they are waiting for the lion to call them inside, they hear him talking with someone. And we know that a new unit has arrived, the Inner Circle Companions, which are not speaking when they are on the battlefield, following characters such as Asmodai or Belial, as we can see. And we predict that these are the members of the Fallen who did not betray the Imperium, who stayed true, who stayed loyal to the Lion, and he calls them Reason now. And that is exactly who the Lion is speaking with. Also, we know that he spends considerable amount of time in the now empty cell of Luther. There is also an interesting piece of lore that covers the Lion's helmet that Azrael is using. So Azrael offered the Lion back the Lion helmet, and the Lion said that he will have it back once he finds a chapter master unworthy. That means that Azrael is more than worthy for now. And I never doubt Azrael is an epic character, and I think that he will always be worthy. So that is about the lore. As I was going through the pages, you've noticed there are painting guides, there are lots of photos, beautiful stuff. Okay, I've skipped to the armor rules now. Amazing artwork. I believe this is from 6th edition, from Dark Vengeance. Looks epic. Also, I want to point out that I really love that they use this cover. So this is the cover from 4th edition Codex. Looks great. On the other side, if I flip it, you see the 6th edition. I think this was the cover of that small rulebook back in 6th edition. I need to check this out, I might be wrong, but I think that is the case. Also, it's beautiful that we have the Dark Angels logo, and on the front we have a key. And we know how much Dark Angels love their secrets, love to lock them away in dungeons and whatnot. Right, so that is about the lore. The book is really well made, the paper is really good. Hardcover, it's always nice to have hardcover books, isn't it? The artwork is amazing as always, never doubt games. This is actually very old art of the Raven Wing, and I really like it. And here is Assault on an Open Wound, this right here. This is a LSpeeder, which are not playable anymore. They are legends. I mean, they are still not legends, but everybody is expecting them to become legends. Games Workshop. Toying with our emotions, poor us Dark Angels. Here is actually some lore about the characters. Asmodee, who got new really good model. The successor chapters. There are some new successor chapters. There's also back to the lore now. We know from this book that Lion is actually helping the successor chapters as well. Now here is the showcase of models. Here are the new Deathwing Knights, really beautiful stuff. Lion himself and the Inner Circle companions, which I have few words about when we get to them, as I'm just turning pages. Beautiful stuff. And just skipping through the pages. Now, here we are. We have new Combat Patrol. Yay! And here is the thing about it. The Vengeful Brother. I, for the most part, like this. I think it's better than the one that we had previously. However, there is one thing that really I just don't understand, and that's this. So the captain is in Gravis armor, and none of the units inside this Combat Patrol are Gravis units, which means that he cannot join any of them. So we have Intercessors, we have Hellblasters, and we have Bladeguard Veterans. I personally love it because the Bladeguard Veterans and the Hellblasters are one of my favorite units. I already have the models for this Combat Patrol, so I don't have to buy the box, but it would have been nice if the character was someone who could join any of these units. I don't know why they made this decision. Makes little sense to me. I guess it is what it is. I'm not too happy about it. Otherwise, I think that the units are good. Now, some people argue that these are just generic Space Marine units, and that is correct. Yes, but by lore we know that the Dark Angels really like using plasma, and Bladeguard Veterans painted in bone white armor with the insignia of the Deathwing really look epic. I have 6 models, 6 Bladeguard Veterans, and they are in the Deathwing colors. I use them as much as I can because sometimes I don't have enough points. In my local community we play on 1000 points because we are very small community. Rarely people have more than that, and that's fine. I think that's fine. As long as we play, that's fine. So when I use them with Judiciary, and I think that's great. I know people use them with Azrael, and that's fine as well, but I like to put Azrael with the Hellblasters. And then I have Azrael with the Hellblasters and Judiciary with Bladeguard Veterans. I've recently played a game, they performed fantastically. So I guess those are my initial thoughts about the Combat Patrol. Now we are getting to the interesting stuff here. So here are the army rules. And one thing I need to point out. This little part, I love it. Why? Because here we have the rule for the Ravenwing and the Deathwing. So every model that is mounted and every model that is a vehicle that can fly gains the Ravenwing keyword. Also, every Terminator unit, Blade Guard Ancient, Blade Guard Veterans, Stern Guard Veterans, Vanguard Veterans, Squad with Jump X, Land Raiders, all of them. So Land Raider, Crusader, Redeemer, Repulsor, and Repulsor Executioner, and all Dreadnoughts. That means not only the Primaris Dreadnoughts, but the regular Dreadnought as well. They all become Deathwing, which is amazing because I like the idea from back in several editions when we had Deathwing Dreadnoughts and the Land Raider could gain special ability as a Deathwing. Now they automatically get it, and that's epic. I really love this part. Because Ravenwing and Deathwing are those wings that separate the Dark Angels from the rest of the Space Marines, that make them really special. Right. Out of moment, of course, and this section is explaining about the Unforgiven and how they gain the Dark Angels keyword, where there should be chapter. And now we come to the detachments. Now, the Unforgiven Task Force. Nothing much has changed. So, not much. There are some changes, but not much. The main rule stays the same. So, if a unit is battle shocked, instead of 0 objective control value, it remains at 1. It's okay, I guess. Honestly, even in the index, I haven't played much of the Unforgiven Task Force. I don't know. It sounded okay, but other detachments from the Space Marines Codex I found much more useful. And here the enhancements for the most part are the same, with the difference that now what used to be Heavenfall Blade is now called Weapons of the First Legion. Why is this change? I have no idea, but it doesn't matter much. Though Heavenfall Blade was a cool name. And it's the same. It's enhancement that affects strength and damage characteristics of the bearers, melee weapons. So it's technically the same thing with different name. Okay, sure, fine. It's not much important, the nomenclature. The difference is actually in the stratagem. So Unbreakable Lines now costs 2 command points instead of 1. It used to be 1 in the index. And I think the effect was also changed. So now it says until the end of the turn, each time an attack targets your unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll. Previously, it subtracted 1 from the damage. Either way is good, I think. I mean, subtracting from wound roll is nice, but subtracting from damage is also nice. The effects are okay, however, 2 command points. I don't know. Sounds like an unnecessary change, but that's just me, I guess. Maybe I'm biased because I'm a Dark Angels player, but it is what it is. For the most part, Unforgiven Task Force unchanged. Now, in this book, unlike in the index, we have 2 extra detachments. And you guessed it, one is for the Deathwing, and the other one is for the Ravenwing. Now, here is the Inner Circle Task Force. I like how thematic this is, because the detachment rule, where you for an objective, really gives you that knightly feel. I mean, if you're fielding the Deathwing Knights, really it's going to feel thematic, you know, and just Deathwing Terminators, that knightly status that they have, the aesthetic of the Dark Angels and all that. I don't know, it sounds interesting. I haven't tested it all so far, but I'm looking forward to it. I think it has some interesting merit. So, what do we have from enhancements here? So, Champion of the Deathwing, I think that's an interesting enhancement. It sure is good because it gives you little hits. Little hits are always nice to have, and critical hits are on 5+ roll, not on the default 6+. So yeah, that's a good enhancement. Eye of the Unseen, I'm not really sure about it. I don't think it will see much play. I mean, gaining a command point is nice, sure, but I'm not sure it's that powerful. Singular Will. Also, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever use it. I mean, it gives extra inches on Consolidate. I'm not sure about this one. Now here we are coming to the juicy part. Deathwing Assault. And this was debated over and over again. Why? Because the main question was, can you use rapid ingress with it? And there are both sides. Some say that you can, some say that you can't. Now, here is the thing. I understand that in the commentary there is this rule about the out of phase rules. Sure, that states that you cannot use more than one extra rule when you are using out of phase rules, and that's fine. However, take one thing in consideration. Deathwing Assault is actually affecting, and this is how I see it. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but Deathwing Assault is affecting the mission rule. Because Deep Strike, as a rule, does not limit the player on which turn at the end of the reinforcement step the models can arrive from Deep Strike. It is the mission rules that make this restriction, and currently we have Leviathan mission rules that do that. So, and rapid ingress, take that in consideration, is that you can use it and your units can arrive as if it was the reinforcement step of your movement phase, even though it's performed at the end of your opponent's movement phase. I'm aware of the example in the commentary with the Whirlwind, which states that you cannot use more than one rule. Now, the way I see it, you use only one stratagem. This is in a way an automatic effect that, once again, I repeat, it affects the mission rule. It's not something that you activate, it just is. But I can see the point in both sides. I can see the point in those who say that you can't rapid ingress and those that say that you can rapid ingress. I think that Games Workshop needs to address this directly and just be blank about it. Yes or no? And I think that they will address it once the Codex is officially released. Also, by the way, I forgot to mention this in the beginning. I'm reviewing the book as it is. I'm fully aware that rules will change, point costs will change. Until that happens, this is what we have, and if you wish to play Dark Angels with this book, you must follow it. Until official errata arrives. Maybe it will arrive on day one when this codex is officially released, maybe it won't. When it arrives, we will know. For now, this is what we have. So when I'm going to mention unit points, I'm going to mention those that are inside, and I'm going to judge the units on that merit until stated otherwise by Games Workshop with an official errata. Okay, so back to the Inner Circle task force. We have some interesting stratagems. Martial Mastery, I think it's great. Duty onto that, I think it's okay. Relic Teleportarium. Ugh. I mean, I can understand how you can play it just to grab an objective, to steal, or should I say, an objective from your opponent and all that, but the fact that you can't charge, But then again, it's only one command point, so yeah. Wrath of the Lion, that one is okay for the most part. I think it's fine. And Unmatched Fortitude, what should I say? Yeah, another one that's just okay, I guess. So only Martial Mastery, I think, here really takes the cake. It's from these stratagems, that's the best one, at least by my own estimation, should I put it. Now, Inner Circle Task Force, that's what we have, and here is one that I'm especially interested about because I used to play Ravenwing a lot, and I love my bikes, I love my Black Knights, I also love the Outriders. I mean, the models are just fantastic. Now, Games Workshop removed the regular bikes. I have substantial amount of them, and I'm going to just play them as Outriders because there was some comment made by Games Workshop that you're allowed to do that, and that's how I'm going to play them. So, Company of Heroes. Company of Heroes. Units from your army are eligible to shoot in a turn in which they advance or fall back. That's fantastic. Why? Because this is a fast army. This is a really, really fast army. And if you advance, even faster, and you can shoot. And that's great, even if you fall back. Sometimes you really want to fall back. So from enhancements, we have Master Crafted Weapon. Fine. It's for melee only, precision. Sure. I'm not sure actually if I'll use it. Maybe. But it's nice to have it. And then we have Mounted Strategist. That one is also okay one. So the bearer is eligible to declare a charge in a turn in which advanced or fell back. The thing is that it only affects the bearer, not the entire unit. Oh no, wait. The bearer's unit. I stand corrected. The bearer's unit. Yeah, now that makes it much better. So combined with the detachment rule, and you have this rule, you can advance, shoot, and then charge. I had to make a pause right there because the ideas are just piling in my head. Yeah. That's great. Mounted Strategist, that's great. So next we have Master of Maneuver. Now I personally think this is a great enhancement. Really, this detachment is giving me so much ideas on how I can build a Ravenwing army. I hardly wait to try it out. I haven't tried it out yet. I hardly wait to try it out. And then we have Recon Hunter, which gives you Scout, 9 inches. That's great. So you can have 2 units, one with Master of Maneuver and one with Recon Hunter. So one arrives from Strategic Reserves and the other one Scouts. Yeah, that's a fast army. You're going to be in the face of your opponent very, very fast, and that's scary. And now when we are going to review the units, okay, I'm going to tell you just right now. You can use the Ravenwing Command Squad, which is now a character. So you can join them with Black Knights. Imagine 2 units of full Black Knights with command squads. And the command squads are great. Now they are characters, which means they can take enhancements and put them in Black Knights. Boy oh boy. They have an apothecary, champion, the banner. Sure, some will argue that that's lots of points. I agree. But man, that's epic. That's just epic. I absolutely love it. Now, here we have the stratagems. Also, I just did not point out that Armor of Contempt is literally on every detachment about the Space Marines, and that's fine. That's staple. Hunter's Trail. Hunter's Trail, I personally think it's great. Talon Strike as well, another one. It's great. Death on the Wind is very situational. I think it's very situational. Not bad, but pretty situational. High Speed Focus, another great one. Rapid Reprisal, another great one. I mean, of all the 3 detachments in this Codex Supplement, Company of Hunters seems to be maybe the one that has most useful enhancements and stratagems. The previous one for the Deathwing is great. It has some interesting stuff, but this one is just great. And with the combination that I've mentioned previously, oh boy, look, at least on paper and in my head, that combination looks great. I have to test it yet. I have no idea how it will perform. I expect it to perform great. Man, Ravenwing are back in business and I'm absolutely happy about it. So, what we have next? Next we have an awesome illustration of the new Deathwing Knights crushing some Black Legion heretics. And after that, datasheets, we come to the fun part. Oh boy. Now, Lion L. Johnson has suffered some nerfings, as we say in gaming. He used to be 350 points. In this codex, he is 365. He lost the ability of the Emperor's Shield, that -1 on opponent's wound roll. I think that was uncalled for. Yeah, I get it. He's a Primarch and he's toughness 9, which is strong. But there are so many weapons in this game now that just penetrate that toughness. I played a game some days ago, and yeah, apply enough firepower, he can die even with the old rule. Imagine how it will be with this rule. I hope Games Workshop will repair this damage as soon as the codex drops. Also, his weapon Fealty suffered. The sweep is now damage 1 instead of damage 2. I get it. Sweep is supposed to kill hordes, and most of models, actually should I say most of units that are big horde units have wound characteristic of 1, but this was also great for killing other Astartes, other Space Marines, be that loyalists or heretics, depending against who you play. I'm not happy with this change. Not at all. Points go up, statistics go down. Lionel Johnson is my favorite character in all of Warhammer, and yeah, it makes me sad to see what they've done with my boy, as the meme says. Just sad. And here is another sad thing, the Inner Circle companions. I must admit, the models are just great. I hardly wait to paint them. I have ordered them. They are supposed to be on their way already. I need to check that. Oh, that knightly look. Monastic and knightly in the same time. Just perfect. However, they are 105 points for 3 models and 210 for 6. Now I'm going to compare them with Blade Guard veterans because I think they are supposed to fill in kind of similar role, and the Blade Guard veterans are far cheaper in points and in my opinion have better weapons. The swords are better and the abilities to reroll once, depending if you wish, you can reroll once of the hit roll or save rolls, much better, and they have invulnerable save, which these guys don't have, even though they obviously have iron halos with sensors. I mean, come on, they deserve at least 4+ invulnerable save. And their swords are okay, I guess, but they don't feel like power weapons. I mean, AP -1, really? And also, once again, the sweep deals only 1 damage. And look at this. Okay, sure. Sustained hits too. That's great, but the number of attacks is the same. You sweep or strike, it doesn't matter. Every model has 4 attacks. No, I don't agree with this. I love the models, and they also have interesting abilities. Still, for the point cost, I don't think these guys are worthy. Despite the fact that I absolutely love the models, these guys, I'm not sure that they are worthy. Like I said, I already ordered mine because I love the models. I would like to paint them. And, you know, rules change, like I said at the beginning. So they are, in my opinion, not as great now, but it doesn't mean that they will remain like that. They might make them beasts in close combat, and then they will be very much worthy. Until then, I'll just enjoy painting them. Nah, who am I kidding? I'm going to try to play them. Even like this. Even if Games Workshop doesn't change anything, I'll give them a chance. I already have some ideas. So I think that they should go great with Azrael, because Azrael gives them invulnerable save, very important. And he also would give them sustained hits 1, so that sweep attack, still better because it's sustained hits 2, but it will go nicely with the strike. Why? Because, like I said, same amount of attacks, better damage. Sure, worse sustained hits because, like I said, Azrael's is 1. I don't know. The sweep profile is just meh, in my opinion. They can delete it. I mean, with Azrael, it doesn't matter. However, another one that I think that will go well with them is the Judiciary, simply because he gives them fight first. Although I would rather have the Judiciary with Blade Guard veterans because of the invulnerable save and all that. So, in a way, my idea will be to have them in Inner Circle detachment and have 1 unit Azrael with Inner Circle companions and another unit Judiciary with Blade Guard veterans. And I'll see which one will perform better. Yeah, sad. And we have the man of the hour himself, Azrael. So Azrael, for the most part, remains the same points, 105, with one difference. He can no longer go with company heroes. I personally think that's a mistake that was not intentional. This codex was printed, I believe, before the actual change was made, because in the index he can. And he's literally the same as he is in the index. Only that one thing is changed, and I think it will be brought back into the errata. Also, on the same page, we have Asmodee. Asmodee, who is gaining new model, who is gaining new rules. The model is insane. I've ordered him as well. The model looks, oh dear Emperor, that model. I'm going to play this guy just because I love this model. Amazing. So he went from 70 points to 65 in this book. He gained a better pistol, because previously his pistol was just a regular bolt pistol. Now it's heavy bolt pistol, which is mostly used by Primaris Marines, I think. Yes. And honestly, I think that his melee weapons are better than they were before. The rest, the abilities are the same. I mean, he's the iconic interrogator chaplain. Now that we are at that topic, I really was hoping that Games Workshop will bring back interrogator chaplains. I know, they're just like regular chaplains with some extra attack maybe, or wound or whatever, but still, they are iconic in the lore about the Dark Angels, and I was hoping they will bring them back. They didn't, so oh well, it is what it is. We are going to use regular chaplains. Now, another one with a new model and another amazing model, we have Belial. Now, Belial is at 85 points, which is the same amount of points as he used to be. For the most part, he is the same, except Strikes of Retribution. So, each time a melee attack is allocated to this model, after the attacking unit has finished making its attacks, roll a d6 to a maximum of 6d6 per attacking unit. For each 4+, the attacking unit suffers 1 mortal wound. It used to be on each 2+, not 4+. So the points remain the same, but this rule is changed. And then we have our awesome Chief Librarian, Ezekiel. Everybody was expecting for a new model. Honestly, I like this model. I know it's an ancient model. I have the original metal model for Ezekiel. I really like it. And when it comes to Ezekiel, he went from 75 to 70 points, and everything else is completely the same. All the rules, all the weapons, everything. It's completely the same. On the next page, we have Samael, one of my favorite characters, especially in the lore. He is amazing, the jet bike is amazing, and he did not change when it comes to rules, but he went from 130 points to 135. What to do? Then we have Captain Lazarus. Captain Lazarus is a very good unit, I think. Very good. The model is amazing. But most of the models at Games Workshop are amazing, really. But I think he is good with the rules, and he's literally unchanged from the index. Same amount of points, 70 points, the rules are completely the same. Also, we enjoy this beautiful photo as my beautiful Dark Angels are fighting the filthy Xenos we know as Tau. Yep. Now, off to the next one. Oh boy, this is where it hurts. This is where it hurts. So Deathwing Terminators, they went from 190 points for 5 and 380 for 10. Boy oh boy, to 205 for 5 models and 410 points for 10 models. So the points went up drastically, and they just lost the ability to min-max close combat weapons. Something that was very specific for Dark Angels Terminators, for the Deathwing Terminator squad, which separated them from the regular Terminator squad and the regular Assault Terminator squad. Games Workshop decided in their infinite wisdom, quote unquote, to change that. Sure, they still have better rules, in my opinion, better abilities than the regular Terminators. The Deathwing ability is the ability that regular Terminators have, plus some extra. So I'm going to read it to you now. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack, you can ignore any or all modifiers that attacks ballistic skill or weapon skill characteristics and or the hit roll. In addition, each time a model in this unit makes an attack that targets your out of moment target, of course, see Codex Space Marines, add 1 to the hit roll. So the regular Terminators from Codex Space Marines, they do not ignore modifiers. The Deathwing Terminators, they do. And I think that's great. But I'm not sure that justifies the point increase and the removal of min-maxing weapons, especially because it usually used to be like you take 2 models with Thunderhammer and Storm Shield, they soak damage, they can punch hard in melee, and then you will take Storm Bolters, missile launchers. Now you can't do that. And I don't know. That's not okay. I understand why they do it, because the kit does not come with the melee weapons, only with ranged weapons, and Games Workshop is now trying to make the rules adjust exactly to how they actually sell these models. Still, we'll see. This is painful to watch. And why is this painful to watch? At least to me. Because I absolutely love these new models. Look at them. They are amazing. And when they first showed them, and when I saw the swords, I was, yes, finally, Deathwing Knights with swords. And then they showed us the statistics about them. First of all, they come only in a unit of 5. You can't have more. You can't have 10. Okay, so, and then the point cost in this book, 290. What? 290 is way too much for what they do. They have beautiful abilities, don't get me wrong. Although I think their power weapons should at least be damaged too. Come on, they're power swords. And they are used by the most elite of knights in the Dark Angels, and the most elite of all Terminators in all chapters. And really, their swords are like damage 1? Come on. Really, Games Workshop. Work on this. I know, I'm salty about this. I'm very much salty about this. I love the Deathwing Knights. I used to play them a lot. And these new models, just perfect. And then you look at the rules. And you know what? Maybe the rules would be justified if the point cost was lower. As they are now, I think they should remain on 235 like they used to. Or at least 230 or 225. Yeah, I'm going down with the points. Actually, I'm going down with the points. But 290? No way. They will underperform. no matter how good their rules are, because the points determine whether you will have your unit in your army or not. Sure, someone will argue like, oh, but the rule of cool, it doesn't matter how much they cost. If you want to play them, play them. And that stands, that's fine. Still, I don't think that they're worthy with the current point cost. Sorry. I'm expecting Games Workshop. I'm expecting something of Games Workshop. Oh boy. What was the phrase? Hope is the first step on the road to disappointment. I guess I'm on that road. Anyway, go forward. Do you see these guys now? These guys are amazing. Now, don't get me wrong, they went up in the points as most of the things in this book, but Ravenwing Command Squad is now a character. So there are 3 characters essentially, and you can give them an enhancement. Remember what I said about having 2 units with oh boy, in Company of Hunters. This is going to be great. So the Ravenwing Command Squad used to be 110 points for 3, 220 for 6. Now, because they're a character, essentially, you can't have more than 3. You get only those 3 guys, because that's how they come in the kit. And they are 185 points. Oh, that's pricey. That's pricey, but maybe justified considering the combinations that you can do in Company of Hunters. I don't know. I mean, come on, they have an apothecary. Like, you put them with the Black Knights. Spam that plasma. Supercharge it. No problem. Awesome stuff. I don't know. I hardly wait to try this out. I'm really happy about it. Even though they are up in points. The fact that you can give them enhancement, yeah, that's amazing. And the Ravenwing Black Knights, they also went up in points. They used to be 90 points for 3 and 180 for 6, if I'm not mistaken. And now they are 115 for 3 and 230 for 6. That is the only thing that is changed. The rules are the same as in the index. The weapons are the same in the index. Nothing else has changed except the points. That is why I previously mentioned that the combinations are going to be pricey when it comes to point cost. Still, they are knights, they are on bikes, they have plasma, and they can have characters with them that also have plasma, that are also knights with a banner. Just the thought about it. And when I think about them on the field, how it will look on the field, it's amazing. Love that field, that knightly field. Yeah. Now we come to a section of the book. LSpeeders, right? Now the Dark Angels are the only Space Marines that have these old school LSpeeders in the form of the Ravening Dark Shroud and the LSpeeder Vengeance. So Ravening Dark Shroud was 115 and now it's 120. And that is all. The rules are the same. Useful unit, it can help a lot, especially in Company of Hunters. Sure, in Company of Hunters because it's thematic, but you can use it in any other detachment, really. The Icon of Old Caliban is an aura. I mean, tale as old as time, as they say. Ever since this model came, its role was very specific to shield your units. It's great. It can swap its heavy bolter with an assault cannon. That's also great, I think, because it has devastating wounds. 5 points increase. It's not too much, but was it necessary? I don't know. Still, I still think it's a useful unit if you make the right combination with it, even with the point increase. LSpeeders Vengeance. LSpeeders Vengeance. Now, it went up for 10 points. It used to be 140, now it's 150. And yeah, the plasma battery is actually weaker now. Yeah. So, even though it's 10 points, and 10 points is not a small amount, at least in my opinion. It used to be good, now it's just meh. Because of the point increase and because of the changes of the weapon. I did not use it much, I got to admit. I never used it much. I always preferred the Dark Shroud, but now I think I'm not going to use it at all. And then finally, last but not least, we have the airplanes that absolutely nobody plays because in this edition, in 10th edition, aircraft is just not worthy. So, and that's the funny thing about these airplanes. So they went up in, actually, no, wait, they went down in points. The Dark Talon went from 210 to 200, and the Jet Fighter went from 195 to 185, and that's all. Everything else is the same. The rules are the same, the weapons are the same, the abilities are the same, everything's the same, except points went down. Well, the points went down for the units that nobody plays. Is this the way of Games Workshop trying to tell us, guys, play these units like they're cool? Sure, they're cool. They're really cool models. I like them. I have one. I have a Dark Talon. And I haven't used it in Emperor knows since when. Because in 10th edition they're just not worthy. And then we have Crusade rules. Now, I got to admit something. I never play Crusade. Never. Nobody in my community is playing Crusade. I don't play Crusade, and honestly, I don't care for these rules. I haven't even checked them, I haven't even seen them, and I don't feel competent to speak about them because I just don't play them, don't know them. I know they can be fun. They can be fun for narrative plays and all that. Sure, just, I guess, not my cup of tea. And I guess that's it from... Okay, I'm going to leave the Deathwing models open like here. Those are my initial thoughts about this book. So this book will come in 2 more variants. So we have this book from the Deathwing Assault box with this cover, as I've shown you from the start. And there will be 2 more. One is regular version, and the other is a special edition version. What's the difference? Only the cover, nothing more. The rules inside, the lore, it's just the same. Games Workshop used to put extra stuff in their special editions and collector's editions, not anymore. They also used to be numbered, not anymore. Fair, fine. Honestly, I've ordered the other special edition because I'm collecting Dark Angels Codexes, whatever it's called. I have all of them so far, since 2nd edition, since Angels of Death. I will make a separate video about that. I actually want to show you every codex from every edition, codex or codex supplement, because they used to be separate codex, then they made them supplements, because previously in 2nd and 3rd edition they were supplement as well. From 4th edition, standalone codex, 6th edition, 7th, 8th, so on. But then they decided to make them supplement again, and that is what we have. So, okay. Now, you know my initial thoughts about this book. I will repeat. So, when it comes to the physical representation and the content which concerns lore and the art and the photos, great. No complaints there. When it comes to the rules, as I've said, not really happy. And I do hope that the Games Workshop is going to address the issues in this codex with the rules on day one. And that's this Saturday. Yeah, the Saturday that's coming is the official release of this codex. I hardly wait to see how things will change, because they will change. How soon, I don't know, but they will change. They have to change, because this... And I know many of my fellow Dark Angels, were complaining, rightfully so. And I believe the Games Workshop received lots of emails. I hope that they were polite. Please don't embarrass us when you send emails to Games Workshop about what's wrong with their books. So that is it. Thank you very much for staying this long with me on my more like rant, I guess, than a review. Review rant. You can see it like that. If you like what I'm doing on this channel, please subscribe, share this video if you think that someone needs to see it, comment. That's how the YouTube algorithm operates. Until next time, stay safe and have a happy gaming. See you soon.